Morning. Or afternoon. Afternoon from the Canadian Rockies. Eyebrows a little wild there with the toque action going on. Andrew living the dream back for another video installment in my quest for spiritual enlightenment. I don't know why I'm always rubbing my eyes, but I was up all night working, so I got kind of dark rings under my eyes, and that's the way she is. The sun's just going down behind a mountain peak there. I'm going to do a slow rotation for everybody to see where I am. And it's coming up on Mount Stephen. I got to get like way out here in order to capture Mount Stephen. My hands are shaking. That's better. One of my favorites. And then this is looking east towards the Great Divide, headwaters of the Kicking Horse River. It was a beautiful sunny day here today. I slept for most of it. Like I said, I worked graveyard last night. This where am I here? That saddle up there, that's where I did that hike. I told some people about it. That's Burgess Pass. Anyways, good hike. Didn't do it today because it's winter, there's a lot of snow. And we sort of come around, full circle, little wispy cloud, and the sun slowly sinking into the Pacific Ocean. A lot of problems lately. Encountered village of Field. There's not much here. Railway tracks behind me. Had a problem lately trying to figure out what my next installment was going to be about. There's a lot of chaotic energy in the world right now. But I guess the whole angels and demons commentary is taking a really weird twist. There's this guy on YouTube channeling Archangel Michael and putting him to the test on what angels are and what demons are and what God is, and this whole scenario where Archangel Metatron is actually the prime culprit in a drama of perpetual manipulation and enslavement of the human race, and that they've reset our species many times in order to keep us from becoming a danger to ourselves and the universe in general. But it really begs the question of the whole creative potential of humanity. What does it mean if we break out of this shell, this physical form? And do we keep a physical form at some other iteration of our awareness, our growing enlightenment? It's all very troubling and very disturbing because I'm trying to put it into context with my own experiences where, I get these enlightening moments, I get these tutorials downloaded to me. I had the experience of a demonic presence that I encountered that had attached itself to somebody I know. And what I realized is that, even though in that particularly encounter I called on Archangel Michael to give me a hand and save me from my trespass, which is really what it was. You're trespassing into energies and circumstances that you don't really comprehend. And there's dangers there. Anyhow, in this video about archangels and demons and Metatron, the angels play along because they signed a contract, and unbeknownst to them what it would actually look like, they were fooled, I guess. They'll help you if you ask them directly. I've certainly done my share of asking my angels directly for help. More often than not, the impetus I get from them, like sell your house and move out to the country. You should really take this job and not a different one. If you're gonna marry your wife, then you're gonna sign yourself up for a lifetime of trials because of that decision that's momentous and significant. Go race the Baja 1000 with a bunch of guys that had no business being there. that all felt like angelic messages that I've gotten in my life. And when I look back, like most of them have been a disaster, except where my life was actually on the line, and even then they seem to be looking out for me. So I'm really perplexed between messages that seem to manipulate and cause me struggles versus messages that have kept me alive. And one of those events, it was super weird. I was about 19 years old, and we were drinking at a friend's place, and we had to go pick up a buddy, and we took two cars, and the voice in my head, and I call it an angelic voice, but maybe it's just my higher self, and that's the question of the day. How do you know it's your higher self and not an angel? And I ask, but I don't get answers like some people. I'm not that clairsentient like some people are. Anyways, we're at a buddy's place, and we're drinking, and I've been drinking more than anybody else for whatever reason, I don't know. And I got this really powerful feeling like, don't go. You don't need to go. Don't go. Don't get in the car. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. This is a bad idea. But you're young. You're 19. You don't listen. And so we get in the car, and my buddy's driving. He's not drunk. He's good. We're cruising along in a sports car that he built with his dad in the garage, and it's his pride and joy. It's the first year of fuel-injected 280Z for any of you car guys out there. Way more horsepower than that much body metal needs. Anyhow, we're cruising along being responsible citizens, and we're going down a maid drag, and I still had the feeling that I shouldn't be in the car. We shouldn't be going. We should just stay at the house and waited. Anyhow, it's a 4-lane road with a parking strip on both sides, business district, lots of stuff going on. It's Friday night, lots of people on the street. Guy pulls out of a parking spot, T-bones us. My buddy veers into the oncoming lane and still gets creamed because we saw it happening. Anyhow, the car gets sent into a tight right-hander, and you can't even describe how miraculous it was, because there's people all walking down the street, and there's a gap in the parked cars, and the gap in the parked cars is where there's a crosswalk to go across the road, and there's a lamppost, like a lamp standards there, and beyond that is a street they turn into a public space with fountains and benches and places for people to hang out. Anyways, it's dark, and like there's a lot of people around, and the car that I'm riding in, now crippled and damaged, is careening towards this gap in the parked cars and the crowds of people on the sidewalk and the public space that has more people in it. And we hit the lamppost, dead center on the car. A glancing blow, we would have sheared off of it and killed a whole bunch of people. We hit the post dead center on the car, and the impact was so severe, it buckled the front of the car, and the lamppost was embedded halfway up the hood of the car. It ripped the engine off the motor mounts and buckled the drive shaft, buckled the roof of the car. And of course, we came to a dramatic stop. Steam coming out of the hood, and I'd been drinking, so I was a little more relaxed than my buddy. My buddy ended up broken wrist, shattered ankle, bunch of injuries. I went to get out of the car when everything stopped, and you can hardly breathe because the seatbelt's crushed your sternum. I had the armrest for the car in my hand. Like I'd ripped it off the door of the car on the inside of the door, the armrest, the sort of the spot for your hand to sit and your arm to rest on. I was holding on to it. I'd ripped it off the door. That's how hard we hit. Anyhow, I don't recommend the sternum injury to anybody because that was god awful, but my buddy was quite badly injured and they took him to hospital. He was in hospital for a few days trying to deal with pinning his ankle back together. But I had the impetus not to get in the car, and I didn't listen. I had the impetus to not go, and I didn't listen. Now I was 19 years old, so, there's lots of reasons why you don't listen to anything when you're that age. But even then, even in the moment, I felt like someone was looking after me. Someone was looking out for me. Someone had my best interests. Because for the collision, where it happened, how it happened, all the people that could have been killed or injured, the damage to other vehicles, that was a miracle. It's a bloody miracle. And so I've attributed that later at this point in my life. Of course, I look back and I say, oh wow, my guardian angels were looking out for me that day and looking out for my buddy and all those people on the street. And I think, well, man, we just had a catastrophic news story out of northern BC about a guy who went nuts and shot a bunch of people, and you got to wonder where was his guardian angel to guide him? Where's the guardian angels of all those kids that could have booked off sick that day and people that could have not shown up to that spectacle? And then you think, well, we have free will. Well, how could we have free will if we have, you know, demons possessing somebody to pull out a gun and shoot people? How do I rationalize my very existence, my survival of listening to these voices in my head, or not listening to them and still surviving? That's the dumb part. I didn't even do what I was told, and I was okay. And then you think, okay, am I important? Like, am I some significant entity on Earth who's going to do some magical important thing? I don't know. I don't really think so. And then I do think so. I think one of the most important lessons from all of this is not to judge, just to observe. And that message has come through over and over again, but like I said, I have an analytical mind, and I must have an analytical mind for a reason. I don't believe that somebody with magical musical talent shouldn't exercise their magical musical talent because people don't like the sound they make. And I can't stop trying to analyze, some of the why questions, like, why me? Why did my friend who had a horrible head-on collision this past year and should have died? Why her? I mean, fuck, she came out of it unscathed practically. A couple of broken ribs, and I mean, she was beat up, broken arm, but the other people died. People saw the accident, couldn't understand how anybody survived. So what is it? What's the lottery here? What's the magic answer to who gets to who gets the kindness of a guardian angel or benevolent force in the universe that keeps you from being pizza on the road versus the guys that aren't so lucky? How do demons fit into it? Or demonic forces? I mean, people say, oh, it's all just an illusion. Anyways, but why does my illusion look like this? Why does their illusion look like their illusion? Anyhow, just a video talking about stuff while I'm standing in the greatest majesty and beauty of British Columbia, Rocky Mountains. Things to ponder. Things to ponder more. Why why all the lessons? Why the lesson plan? What's the end game? Did I ask for it? Did I chart this in my pre-incarnation management meeting? Okay, guys, I'm gonna descend to the earthly realm in three-dimensional pain and suffering. What shall we do this time? Oh, look, some people I get to do it with that aren't very nice. That'll help. I don't know. Anyhow, a little bit of scenery. Great Divide. Mount Stephen, my favorite. Kicking River. A lot of gravel here. A lot of gravel. Anyhow, it's cold, and this is long enough. Let me know what you think.